Yep. Okay. Welcome to the December 2024 meeting of the Haddon Heights Planning Board. This meeting is being held in accordance with the Sunshine Laws of the State of New Jersey, Chapter 145, by Mayor and Council and the Planning Board for official notices. Notice of this meeting was posted on the Borough Bulletin Board and the borough's website for that purpose. Can I have a roll call, Suzanne?
Sure. Ms. Bonacorsi. Mr. Madden.
Here.
Chairman Hanson.
Here.
Mr. Schmidt.
Here.
And Ms. Borcher.
Here's we have a quorum. Everybody please rise to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, before we start with our business this evening, I just announced that the application 24-12-1P, that's Michael Modica at 19 8th Avenue, which is Block 40, Lot 19, was scheduled to be heard this evening, but their notice to the newspaper on the 200-foot list was found to be deficient because they didn't advertise for a use variance, so they're going to have to renotice and come in when that's all squared away, potentially in January. So if you're here for that case this evening, it's not going to be heard. One other quick change to the, we got to do the minutes too, but we'll get approval of the first thing on the agenda is approval of the November 14th, 2024 minutes. Everybody had a chance to review the minutes? Any questions or revisions that anybody saw with the minutes? Seeing none, entertain a motion to approve.
I'll move to approve.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Kate will abstain, obviously, she wasn't on the board. We have a new member this evening, Kate Boucher. Did I say I got the last name right? Okay. Kate's joining us this month. Can we swear her in? Alexis?
I, Kate Boucher, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and in this state under the authority of the people. I do further solemnly swear that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of the office of the planning board according to the best of my ability. So help me God.
Understand you'll be giving your full life story later on the agenda as an introduction to the board. We don't have any resolutions tonight because we didn't have any cases last month. We'll open the meeting to the public for comments not related to any specific case. So if you're just here for anything that's not related to one of our cases this evening, come forward. We'll have the solicitor swear you in. Seeing none, we'll close public comment there. We're just going to have one change to the order of the agenda tonight. Mr. McNally's got a professional involved, so we'll accommodate him first so that Marty can be on his way. So the first case this evening will be 24-12-3P, Justin McNally, 521 Geyer Drive, Block 77, Lot 12. And Mr. McNally, you want to come forward with Marty? We'll have you guys sworn in.
You just both raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And Mr. Irving, is it true that you've appeared before this board numerous times as a professional?
Yes.
Recognize it? Okay.
We'll recognize Marty as an expert. He's been before the board several times.
Go ahead. Say that.
Thank you. Good evening and happy holidays, everyone. We're here tonight for a bulk variance at 521 Geyer Drive at the intersection of 12th Avenue and Geyer Drive. The applicant is proposing a second-story addition over an area that was formerly a two-car garage, and a small one-story addition in the rear of the home, approximately 17 feet by 11 feet or so. Given the nature of the fact that this is a corner lot in the R2 zone, it was required to have a rear yard setback which would be in this area behind the home. But of course, the existing home has already encroached into that rear yard setback, and therefore we require a variance for this new addition. Normally, on a corner lot, we'll find ordinances that have 2 front yards and 2 side yards. But in this case, in this zone, it does require a rear yard and therefore both variance. Really, that's that simple. It's very small impact to the ground plane itself, and the home, the architectural character of the home really doesn't change. A portion of the home is already 2 stories, so they're just really filling in this area here over top of the existing 2-story portion of the home lies there. So we'll fit in with the architectural character, blend in to the existing home and the neighborhood. We don't exceed coverage, impervious coverage for once, so we don't require a grading plan or less than 500 square feet of disturbance. And the general nature of the drainage on the property is down in this direction and out to Geiger Drive. So the small addition would have no negative impact to the neighbors. Any water would find its way down and around based on the existing topography down and out onto Geiger Drive. Mr. Bob's office had a couple comments.
Yep, and I can go through my letter with the permission of the chair.
Okay, we'll do that.
Mr. Irving, just confirm the height. You're going to be under 35 feet.
Yes, it's 29 feet to the ridge.
Thank you. And just so we have it on the record, the entirety of the garage has been converted to living space, or a portion of the garage?
So previously, that ground level of the garage door was shut when I was there surveying, so I assumed it was a garage. Turns out at some point in the past, a partition wall was put up. So the ground floor of the garage is half of it is living space and half of it is storage, access through those garage doors.
So I just want to keep it on the record as a partial garage, because I do not want to abandon a pre-existing non-conforming use. So if we can keep it that a partial garage still remains, and that way you keep that vesting of having the ability, because that's not permitted in the zone. We have provided a December 12th, 2024 review. Mr. Irving just answered the questions. The bulk variance that we're looking for, as Mr. Irving put on the record, 20.8 feet, where 50 foot is required in the zone. Mr. Irving, and your applicant agrees, directing all downspouts that are created from this addition away from adjacent properties and providing silt fence around the area of disturbance.
Yes, we agree.
I have nothing further.
Any questions or comments, board members? Seeing none, we'll open we'll open to the public for any public comment on this application. Anyone wishing to speak, come forward. Seeing none, close public comment. Alexis, you want to summarize the potential approval?
Yep. So
Hold on one second before we start. I don't think that exhibit was part of our application package that I have, so we should have it marked A1.
Okay.
Okay. And just to confirm, Marty is qualified in professional planning and landscape architecture, I believe.
Correct.
His license.
Mr. Irving, how would you describe this?
This is simply the colored version of what we submitted to the zoning plan.
Okay. Okay. So the property is block 77, lot 12, 521 Geiger Drive in the R2 residential zone. Property is about 12,000 square feet. With an existing 2-story residential dwelling and attached garage, public porch, outside driveway, 3 sheds and home improvement. The applicant seeks bulk variance approval to construct a second story to the attached garage and an addition on the rear of the dwelling. There are 2 nonconformities, but they only need 1 in bulk variances, which, as Mr. Irving testified, is the rear yard setback. Minimum 50 feet is required, or 20.8 feet is permitted. Currently, there are only 17.7 feet there. It's only a little bit of a difference from what's existing. For the standard, what we normally talk about, the positive and negative criteria for a C1 hardship variance. which can be established where particular and exceptional practical difficulties exist or exceptional and undue hardship exist based on exceptional narrowness, shallowness, or shape of the property, exceptional topographic conditions or physical features uniquely affecting its property, or the extraordinary and exceptional situations uniquely affecting the specific property or structures on said property. We also have to make sure we're finding the negative criteria where the applicant must establish that the variance can be granted without a substantial detriment to the public good and will not substantially impair the intent and purpose of the development of ordinance. As Mr. Bach also mentioned, there'd be two conditions of approval, which would be the downfall away from the adjacent properties and the self-satisfying construction. As Mr. Irving put some testimony on the record, that house is already infringing on that required setback, so it really isn't that much of a difference from what's already there. So,
And a corner lot.
and it's a corner lot, which makes it a little bit different.
Anybody like to, thank you, Alexis. Anybody like to make a motion to approve or disapprove the application?
I'll make a motion to approve the application subject to the conditions set forth by Mr. Bach in his service letter.
I'll second.
Any questions or comments on the motion? Seeing none, roll call, Suzanne?
Sure. Mr. Madden?
Yes.
Ms. Bonaccorsi?
Yes.
Chairman Hanson?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
And Ms. Kate Boucher?
Motion passes. Project's approved. I'll just give everybody the same spiel after they get bulk variance relief, is that when we have our next meeting, we'll do a resolution that memorializes all the conditions and basically memorializes your approval. And then the notice of that decision will go in the paper. And once that's published in the paper, then within 45 days, somebody could theoretically appeal the decision that was made here this evening, saying that nobody was here to object. I think that's probably highly unlikely. But if you want to go forward with your project, you'd be proceeding at your own risk until that appeal period's lapsed. So you want to go see Suzanne for your permits, and you're good to go, I think.
I just, I forgot that Mr. Wise had a question.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Oh, gee. You lucked out, Mark.
Sorry. We tried to move it along as fast as we can. We failed as usual. I'm
Pretty
kidding. I'm
quick.
kidding. I think we're doing okay. Doing better than most. Okay, next case. So we'll do Wise next. Okay, next case is case number 24-12-4P. That's George and Melinda Wise, 1533 Oak Avenue, Block 104, Lot 15. Come forward. We'll have our solicitor swear anybody in that's going to give testimony. Both come forward. We'll have you both come forward, sir. We'll have you sworn in, and then we'll have you tell us about your project.
Mr. Wise?
Yes.
And what's your architect?
Michael Hampton. In
Um,
March, design studio.
Can you please both raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. So if you want, you can just go and tell us about the project, what relief you're asking for.
Well, we have a.
Oh, I'm sorry, actually,
Um,
Chairman.
It's customary for us to have our professionals give their qualifications to the board if they haven't previously appeared before the board. You're licensed architect in the state of New Jersey.
No, just an architectural designer.
Okay. Okay, that's
Okay,
fine.
that's good that we
But if
have-
you were a professional, we just have to get your qualifications and have you sworn as a witness because there's a different standard. Okay, you guys can proceed. Thank you. Sorry about that.
That's okay, we just, keep going.
Procedural thing.
Single car garage that's about ready to fall down. It's really ratty and, I mean, it needs to go one way or the other. And I have, my wife and I are both artists. We've been in town here about 40 years and we're well known to be the creative types. And I'm getting along in the tooth. I'm pushing 80, so I would like to have this where my wife and I can have a little bit more room to work and quality garage that my neighbors don't have to be ashamed of. And that's about where it's at.
Thank you.
Sounds pretty
Mr.
straightforward. We'll have Mr. Bach go through his review letter. And then we'll open it up to the board for any questions or comments they might have.
Thank you.
Mr.
Refer the
Wise.
board and everyone to our December 11th, 2024 review. Again, as Mr. Wise put on there, on the record, he is looking to replace a garage with a slightly larger garage, in essence, in the same location. The property is in the R5 residential zone. We have listed on page 2 of our review the bulk standards and how the applicant how the application compares to the requirements. Note 3, existing nonconformities in terms of front, side, and aggregate side. They're going to remain unchanged. In essence, we're here for a maximum lot coverage variance of 59.8%. Existing lot coverage is 58%, and it seems to be that same lot coverage for a good number of years, based on review of historical aerials. We do have a few review comments. One, if the applicant confirmed that the proposed garage will not exceed 16 foot in height. That's you, Mr. Wise?
That's correct.
Perfect. That you indicated in the app, and you didn't apply for any accessory use setback bulk variances, so you're going to comply with the requirement for the 5 feet off the property line
Yes.
and the rear, of the side and the rear.
Yes.
All proposed downspouts be directed away from adjacent properties, and you'll install silt fence in the area where you're doing any grading.
Our driveway, our house actually sits on a hill, pretty steep driveway. So, I mean, we're going to aim the gutters or whatever we have to do to make sure.
And just if you're disturbing any ground during the construction, have silt fence to capture any silt runoff on the downstream. In essence, that's, and the last part of our review is the applicant will not be disturbing more than 500 square feet, so a lot grading review will not be required. I have nothing further.
Thanks, Steve. Any questions or comments from the board? Seeing none, we'll open up to the public. Anybody from the public here to speak on this application, come forward while the solicitor swear you in. Seeing none, we'll close public comment. Another C variance, Alexis?
Yeah, another C variance, so this one is for block 104, lot 15, 1533 Oak Avenue, which is in the R5 zone, 6,250 square foot lot with an existing one and one half story residential dwelling driveway, detached garage, for patio, gazebo, and other improvements, which was subject to previous approval, which permitted the lot coverage up to 58%. So the applicant tonight seeks full variance approval to replace the existing detached garage, which, as Mr. Box said, is a slightly larger garage, and therefore needs a bulk variance for lot coverage, which is 60%, if we're on to.
15 weeks,
59. So it's, yeah.
59.5?
Yeah.
59.8, 59.8.
Yeah, so just slightly larger than what's there. The standards are the same thing we just talked about, positive, negative criteria for the hardware and commercial insurance. Again, as we talked about, it is a smaller lot. He's already had approval for something that was just about the same or about a percentage and a half bigger than what's already there. Any motion would also have the 2 conditions of approval that Mr. Bach included, just at the downspouts away from the adjacent property and silt fencing during construction. And the height would have to be, yes, it would have to be 16, which would have to be compliant.
And in support of the variance, obviously, the board can consider the longstanding goal of the borough to have detached garages set further back into the property. And that also goes to why the existing impervious coverage is already at 58%. And they're just slightly expanding that with in essence, a rebuild of the garage, but just a few feet wider.
Same depth, a couple of feet wider.
Anybody like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the application with the stipulations that were in the Bach letter.
Any questions or comments on the motion? Seeing none, roll call, Suzanne?
Ms. Bonaccorsi?
Yes.
Mr. Madden,
Yes.
Chairman Hansen,
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt,
Yes.
and Ms. Borcher.
Congratulations.
Thank you, folks.
Project's
you.
approved. Heard the spiel about the appeal period. I won't go through that again in sake of brevity, but if you proceed before the 45-day appeal period ends, it's at your own risk.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Okay, we've got one last case this evening. I know we made you wait a long time, but it'll be case number 24-12-2P. That's Andrea and Joseph Brumbach, 1932 Sycamore Street, Block 147, Lot 4. Come forward if you're both going to speak.
Yeah,
We'll
sure.
just both
Okay,
have
we'll have you both
get
sworn in.
Yeah, why not?
So can you please both raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Welcome this evening. Tell us about your project.
Is it okay if we sit?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. How are you? So we want to make our kitchen bigger, in effect. So we bought this house probably 12 years ago, and it was just us. And now we have 3 boys who are aged 10, 7, and 7. And my wife has no interest in being in our kitchen with me and the other 3 boys, all looking to get something while she's trying to do whatever it is she wants to do in the kitchen. So we're going for a bigger kitchen. We're also then adding a screened-in porch off the back to stay in line with the kitchen addition. And then we're taking away a covered patio and building a mudroom and covering the front porch. I think that is all the things.
Pretty much looks like what's depicted on the plan. Maybe we'll go through, Steve, you want to go through your letter
If I
again
may.
again on this one?
So December 11th, 2024 review, the property is located in the R5 residential zone. The bulk standard analysis is provided on page 204. We have several existing nonconformities for side adjacent to lot 5, side yard adjacent to lot 3, and aggregate side. One story. Because they're extending the home just along those same side yards, would create a new nonconformity, but it's not exceeding what currently exists in terms of the plane of their
Setbacks
side
are
of
the same. It's
dwelling.
just an expansion of the.
Just going
non-conformity.
back, so we have to account for those variances. The other variance that's required is a lot coverage variance. 30% is allowed, and the zone existing is 35.98, and the applicant is proposing 42.19. So it's an increase in lot coverage. The review comments that we provided is, one question we had is the front yard setback dimension to the front porch. You got a copy of my letter?
Yes, it's 17 feet 6 inches
17 feet 6 inches.
would be the porch.
Yeah.
So we have it as 17 feet, so we'll make it, so you have a few inches to accommodate.
Thank you.
So
That's very gracious.
the other variance is a front yard setback of 17 being proposed, 17 where 25 feet is required. And that is going to be a covered front porch.
Yeah, there's already an existing like 6-8 inch high slab. It's 2 steps up to the concrete slab that's there, and it has a wrought iron railing.
So like
around
a
it.
stoop, and actually you're doing a covered porch.
Yeah, it's already a big stoop. We're just gonna.
And again, that's one of the aesthetics, that is one of the goals and objectives that have put out in by previous master plans of covered porches. So as a factor in terms of mitigating that variance relief. The other item is this is going to be over 500 square feet, approximately 1,000 square feet of disturbance, so a grading plan will be required. And we also, as we have traditionally with all of the applications, we're going to request for mitigation of the impervious coverage that the applicants install a stormwater infiltration system that is just the difference of what is permitted and what you're exceeding for the variance. Have you talked to Suzanne or anybody about that, or any questions you have for us?
I think we could get someone to come out and look at the property and then they would give us a
Very good.
grading plan.
There, yes, and Suzanne has several examples, or if you don't have your own
I don't-
professional,
Yes, okay.
but Suzanne has several examples of people that successfully have gone through this process in town
Okay.
and could provide that type of information. Not trying to direct you to
No,
anybody,
that's actually
but
very
just trying to
helpful.
give you some
Yes.
examples. And then our office is always available for any questions.
And they
that
would
you have.
do like the grading and
They would do
also-
the grading and they
also
would do the
numbers.
stormwater. And typically, the stormwater is a pre-manufactured FRP or plastic dry well, perforated dry well, just buried in the ground, a little stone around it, and then you pipe out some of your downspouts to it. So it's not going to be a big concrete vault or anything else like that. But what this is the difference in the water quality storm, which is the least calculated storm by the DEP, that typically has the silt and sediment and those type of things. So don't be too afraid of it, but that is a mitigating factor for allowing a variance to be considered by the board. So with the front porch, the existing side yard setbacks, and then obviously if the applicant is agreeing to the infiltration system, that would be all mitigating factors towards the variances that are requested. Sorry, I
Thank you, Steve.
probably talked too much, sorry. I need more coffee.
Any questions or comments from the board?
Just so I'm clear, I'm looking at the survey, so there's a front porch already, you're covering that, is that going to remain a front porch?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And then the.
I just get rained on when I open the front door. So I
Right,
just
so you're-
wanted the.
Got it.
Yeah,
And then
right.
the-
Oh, so it's actually open air, like a porch.
It's like a
Yeah,
stoop.
it's a stupid. Like
It's a
they-
stoop, but it's
You just
very
put a
big.
roof over it, basically. It's not like an additional room to that. It's not like.
No, it's just gonna be a.
No, it's
over-
just
yeah.
covered. It's
Of the
still the
I just wanted
outdoors.
to, I had the same question as you.
And then the mudroom, you have you have a sidewalk on the side of your house.
Mhm.
And then you have, I guess, stairs at the back side door.
Mhm.
And you're going to basically make that mudroom on the concrete slab. It's not going to go any deeper towards the side yard. It's going to be the same, basically. width.
Plane, same plane as the existing
So
house.
the garage like juts out a little bit and then the kitchen is here. So it's gonna be along the same length of the garage. It's
The
not
same
gonna-
setback.
And
right?
it's high.
Yes, it's the same setback from the side as the garage, which
Yeah.
is on the,
And it's
I
not
don't
gonna
know,
go
the
back
right
as
side.
far
of
as
the-
the current house does. I think it'll be a few feet before the current house.
So,
Anybody else? Yes, we'll open to the public, even though there's nobody here, unless somebody's in the other room. Open the hearing to the public. Anybody want to come forward? Nobody's here. We're closing. Alexis, you want to do one more summary for us?
So the property is block 147, lot 4, 1932 Sycamore Street, located in the R5 residential zone, 6,200 square foot lot, with an existing one and one house dwelling, concrete driveway, concrete walkway, concrete barn, and a second fence. On the applicant's here tonight, the bulk variance approval for the construction of 3 separate additions totaling about 736 square feet, which will include a 420 square foot addition on the rear, about 66 square foot addition on the side, and a 260 square foot porch. The applicant requires 5 bulk variances for this, which are for lot coverage, front yard setback, side yard setback, another side yard setback, and aggregate side yard setback. And conditions of approval, as Mr. Bach stated, would be downspouts away from the adjacent properties, so fence, grading plan, and the installation of stormwater infiltration system. That would be the difference of what's permitted and exceeded by the variance. And Mr. Bach has already discussed some of the mitigating factors a little earlier in the testimony that would help go to the following negative criteria that we already talked about twice tonight.
Anybody like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the application, the stipulations that are addressed in the Bach letter.
Any questions or comments on the motion? Seeing none, roll call, please, Suzanne.
Ms. Bonnekerson? Yes. Mr. Madden?
yes.
Chairman Hanson,
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt,
Yes.
and Ms. Coulter.
Motion passes. You're approved. You heard the spiel about the appeal period, so proceed before that expires. You're proceeding at your own risk. That's all. Thanks for coming in. Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Happy holidays.
Thank you. Thanks.
Just had one other thing to discuss. We got the RFPs for, I guess, solicitor, engineer, and the 2 conflict positions. Typically, we do there's a 3-person committee that reviews those and makes recommendations for appointments for next year. I know you've been on it before. Do you want to do it?
Thank you.
Anybody else want to, that's the punishment for coming in this evening, for the people that came in this evening. Or the homework assignment, I should.
I can look
say,
through-
punishment.
I can look through our.
You like to join too? Like, if you guys want to, if anybody else wants to be on it, they're welcome to, but I think we've always just had 2 or 3 people. I'll, okay. I can include Dean or myself, whoever wants.
Thank you.
Is it the same, the usual suspects? Okay. So you can email that. It'll be, I guess, include John and Mike and Dean, maybe. Dean and myself, I guess. Dean likes to be on it. I'll mediate when they start arguing. So every year, like Steve for, are we? No, we appointed the committee.
We can adjourn.
Yeah, it's just questions.
Well,
I mean, it doesn't.
It
I mean, it
doesn't
doesn't really matter,
So
but-
it isn't, so you
So
have to
if-
offer professional services, you have to offer proposals, and then all the different professionals, so planners, engineers, attorneys, conflict attorneys, they all submit it, and then the board.
we review the,
Great thing
we'll
to
review all the
Google is,
qualifications.
New Jersey statute, fair and open process. And that's what this is. And this is for, I believe, almost everyone in New Jersey for any professional appointments and any, whether it's a municipal appointment, any authority appointment, or any land use board appointments should be done under the fair and open process. All the credentials, all the qualifications, and all the stipulations of all the required forms that are required by the state are all completed. So you know who's submitting, who they are, what they do, their property license, what their compensation proposal is, as well as that they're not in trouble with any of the other provisions.
We do this
That's a
every
nice
year
easy
for
way to
every
say it.
position. So usually most appointments are annual. So we do it in January every year, everything gets reappointed.
And it's not
appointments are made.
exactly it's not a bid process necessarily.
Yeah.
It's a fair and open process, but it's price and other facters go into.
Price and qualifications.
Right.
In
There's
in
different
our,
types of bidding, which there's professional services where you can consider a lot more, and then there's the bidding where it's like lowest bidder.
Yeah, so this is like an RFQ, request for qualifications, versus a request for proposal, which is, or a request for bids.
specific things like knowledge.
It's a
of our
wonderful
town.
thing that we have in New Jersey. Yes, that
For
that was-
construction,
that
you
was
don't really have a
strictly
choice.
public contract law.
So qualified.
This follows the fair and open process and the guidelines that are provided by the,
Professional appointments
DCA.
are a little different than contracting.
Sure.
But, Mike's made a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed.
I don't know if that was a
We're
motion
adjourned.
or just a nudge. Motion.
You know how much I like long meetings.
You're